Let's talk about Boy Next Door. Boy Next Door are a 6-member boy group. They debuted in 2023 on Cause Entertainment. That's a subsidiary of Hybe. Zico is the head of the label, if you're familiar with him. I included them in my year-end list of 2023 groups that I thought deserved more credit and more attention. I love this group, and this is the first time I get to properly review a comeback from them. They gave us an album, 7 songs. It's called How. The single, the title track, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Okay, this one has stayed in my head. It's an earworm. As I've been talking and doing the show, it's playing in my head right now. Like it is strongly playing in my head right now. This is a very catchy song. I'll be real from the gate. When I listened to the album, I didn't know what the title track was. And this wasn't the one that I automatically picked out and thought, oh, that must be the title track. This is a very strong project. I'm going to get into the other songs in a little bit. But I thought a lot of songs on this album could have been the title track. So I wasn't shocked that this was it, but it didn't totally stand out. Like title track and then some filler B-sides. There's a lot happening here, but I do like this song. Okay. I like this. I love the phrasing in the verses. In the opening lines by Taesun, those drawn out vocals, he sounds so good. So good. Like immediately I thought, who is that? This guy's a singer. This is a singer. We've got a singer on our hand. We've got a vocalist on our hands. Yes, I'm really, really here for him. I thought his breath control and his phrasing was so good. And it's just like a few short lines. It's not like this is someone flexing their vocal muscles and doing impressive runs and belting, but I love the way he did the phrasing there. I think this is an interesting melody to begin with, and it just stood out to me right away. I was like, ooh, cool. I like this. The interesting thing is then Sung Ho comes in and there's not a huge drop off. This guy can sing too. This guy knocks it out of the park too. And that seems to be a theme with Boy Next Door. They can sing. They're really, really talented. And the rappers are great. So there's not a drop off and there's not that moment that you're like, oh, yes, it's him singing. Do you know what I mean? Sorry if you don't follow this, but like with certain boy bands, and I was a big boy band fan growing up, I still am, obviously. With certain boy bands, there's this moment where I was always like, yes, when I heard a certain voice come in. And in Sync, when JC comes in, yes. In Backstreet Boys, well, that's hard because there's some great voices there, but it used to be Brian. When Brian came in, there's the voice, yes. In some boy bands, there's that voice that you're waiting for. For me, in One Direction, when Zayn comes in, there's that voice. Same thing with K-pop, right? Same thing with K-pop. In all these groups, I can tell you who the voice is that I'm waiting for and that I'm excited about. Every once in a while, there's a group where you have multiple that are like, ooh, when they come in. And it's hard to decide who the better singer is. It's hard to decide who your favorite voice is because there's multiple that are so good. Think about EXO. We can go back and forth on Bacon and Chen all day, and there's no right or wrong answer. It's personal preference. I feel like Boy Next Door has the potential to be that group as well. I think they've got great singers in this group, and it really stood out to me. And this is a fast, up-tempo song. If someone like me is able to hear the vocal talent in an up-tempo pop song like this, we've got singers on our hands. I appreciate it. The chorus here is different. They do something in the second half of this chorus that I think people will either love or hate. They speed it up. It's sped up. And that's very timely for culture right now. A lot of people listen to songs at like 1.5 speed. Everything on TikTok, it'll be the sped up version of a song that goes viral. Attention spans, Gen Z, younger than Gen Z, I don't know what we're calling them, but they want it all sped up. This isn't fast enough for them. Boy Next Door is brilliant because they made part of the chorus sped up. And I think it actually works. I think with their sense of humor and kind of who they are as a group, This wasn't jarring to me. I was like, all right, yeah, that works. That's an interesting element to put in there. And I think it worked pretty well. It's fun. And it lends itself to killer choreography. The second I heard it, I couldn't wait to watch the performance stages because I knew this is going to be some good choreo. They did not let me down. I'll get to that when I talk about the music video. I like the lyrics. You know, there's the lyric about like, you're not just a girlfriend, you're my earth, wind, and fire. These are romantic young men, young love. I think Earth, Wind, and Fire is a very interesting title too, because a lot of us immediately think of the group Earth, Wind, and Fire, of the legendary song September. There's Earth, Wind, and Fire. Even if you don't know that song, you know that song. That's played at every wedding party. So it's interesting to hear a K-pop group of young guys have a song called Earth, Wind, and Fire that's not a funk song. There's not a lot of funky bass in this one. I think that's totally fine. It works. And it's probably smarter to have a very different sound. So you're not saying, like, I wish I was listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire instead right now, you know? But, anyways, the title kind of conjured up, yeah, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Like Let's Groove. I love that song. Let's Groove Tonight. So good. Oof, I'm going to put some Earth, Wind, and Fire on the playlist this week. Now I'm in the mood to listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire, but let's get back to Boy Next Door. This is a good song. And this song grew on me. Like I said, it's in my head now. I'm kind of in love with it. And upon first listen, I wasn't in love with it. I just thought it was fun. So this is good. This is good. Let's talk about this music video. There's so much happening. It's young, it's fresh, it's bubbly, it's bright, it's whimsical. Their stuff is just fun. I have loved their music videos since debut. I think they really capture this really young, relatable energy that's hard to kind of bubble and translate on screen as well as they do. This one has so many cool edits and transitions. I mean, it is like really, really well done. I like that they bring the Earth, Wind, and Fire elements into the video. There's a lot of like weather related themes that are cute. I think they're supposed to be like shrunken down, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids or whatever that movie was. Like they're really tiny. And the reason I think that is because when we see the perspective of a cell phone beside them, or the cute cat is like giant and scary. So I think that's what's going on here. I'm not quite sure because, to be honest, I don't really care about the storyline because it's so fun and like awesome looking that's all. I was just wrapped up in watching them and experiencing the objects and the colors and this world that they kind of transported the viewers into. So whatever's happening, I'm here for it. I love this. The styling really works. I like the styling here. Oof, those red and white outfits are cute. When they're wearing like the black and white, they're all very handsome. I liked the gray suits. I thought those were good look. Across the board, the styling works in this music video. It's very, very well done. All 6 members, they look handsome. They look cool. They look like fun guys you want to hang out with. This is a good looking group. You've got some real face cards in this group. They are a handsome, handsome group. They have unique identities, a really nice mix of looks, and they all looked great in this video. No notes from me. I thought the styling was wonderful. Let's talk about this choreography. I love the choreography for Earth, Wind, and Fire. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I had to rewind during the chorus, and I rarely do that. Like I don't do that. I'm going to be honest. I rewound during the chorus because in that sped up part, they are like kind of fast robots and they do really funny, entertaining things with it. They're not just standing in formation doing their choreography. And that's something I've noticed that this group does a lot of. The choreography is different than standard K-pop formations. So it always intrigues me, grabs me, and it makes it feel more organic. Like in that moment, no, because it's very choreographed because they're doing this robotic thing where they one of them pretends to shoot the other ones and they fall and they do this move. It's very funny. But a lot of times in their choreography, there's a lot of interaction and there's moments where they're facing different ways. They remind me so much of New Jeans. New Jeans do that a lot in their choreography. They're not just lined up facing the audience in traditional dance formations. There's a lot of facing each other. There's a lot of interaction. And I've noticed that with Boy Next Door. And for a lot of reasons, they give me the same feel as New Jeans. I think it's brilliant marketing, brilliant choreography, creative direction. The people behind this group are doing a really wonderful job making them feel relatable. When New Jeans came on the scene, they were so refreshing because they looked like high school kids. They looked like high school girls. They didn't look like glamorous, perfect K-pop idols. And for the target demographic for a group like New Jeans, for 15-year-old girls, it's so refreshing to see someone that you feel like you can relate to and to watch them dancing around with their friends. When you dance with your friends, you're not all looking straight ahead. You know, think about it. When you're dancing with your friends, if you're out at a club with your friends, if you're at a house party with your best friends, you're looking at each other, you're pointing at each other, you're making eye contact and smiling and vibing with each other. New Jeans really did that a lot when they debuted. They still do. But I think Boy Next Door gets that. When you watch their stage performances and their choreography, there's such a chemistry that's built from doing that, from not always having the stage picture be focused out. And it also gives you way more opportunities for different formations, more interesting stuff with the choreo. So I really, really appreciate that. I've got to say though, this choreography is hard. This is hard. Earth, Wind, and Fire's choreography. There's a part where they jump up and do this like kick thing. It's so hard. It's so athletic and it's very, very quick. If you weren't sure how old this group was, you would know by watching how hard their choreo is. I believe their ages are like from 17 to 21. Peak athletic performance time right here. They killed it. Love this choreo. And just so much personality. So much personality. There's something very organic about them. And I'm here for it. I love this group. I love this group. I think they're really, really special. To be very, very, very honest, I haven't been that excited about a lot of K-pop groups. I feel like the past couple years haven't been the strongest years in K-pop. I'll just say that. So I'm very excited about Boy Next Door. They're really, really good. Like, there's something about them, a total it factor that is hard to replicate. And they're in a busy space. There are a lot of talented fifth generation boy groups, really talented. But there's some like thing, there's this essence, there's this vibe, there's an it factor about Boy Next Door that to me makes them the most exciting fifth gen boy band. I said it, and that's no shade. You all know I ride hard for my Rise boys. I adore them. I think they're so talented and amazing. ZB1 has great songs. I totally get their appeal, and I'm a fan. But there's something about Boy Next Door. There's something about them that just draws me in. And I laugh while I'm watching them. I smile and I laugh. I'm so entertained by them. I don't know. They're special. Boy Next Door is special. Let's talk about the rest of the album though, because clearly I want to talk about these guys. I'm very passionate about them. The album gave us 7 songs, but one of them is the English version of Earth, Wind, and Fire. So I like all 6 of these new songs. These are all good. The 3 I want to talk about, my album picks tonight: Amnesia, So Let's Go See the Star, and Life is Cool. Amnesia, that guitar with the vocal melody at the top, it immediately hooks the listener. Immediately. And the lyrics are very relatable. Unhappy in a relationship, but staying in it because when it's good, it's great. and then being frustrated with yourself, like, I must have amnesia. Like, because then I forget about all this awful stuff and I'm happy for a small moment before it gets back to the fighting and all the issues. That's relatable. That's relatable. And I think the production here is very well done. Really well constructed. And that's all of their songs. But I like this one. They kind of float different elements. You've got some drum and bass happening. They float stuff in and out in a way that's not that obvious. They're going for a more subtle, seamless approach, it feels like. And that doesn't mean that they don't have a lot of elements and a lot going on, but it's not as jarring as some other K-pop releases. It works really well. So let's go see the star. This is like first love, dreamy, driving in the car to go look at stars. Nothing matters without you. It captures the feeling of young love. There's definitely an 80s retro sound here that I like. Lehan had some really good moments in this one. Like, I think they all gave a great vocal performance, but to me, he was the most emotionally connected. Loved his performance in this song. And this is just a great song. And then I want to talk about Life is Cool. What an interesting song. Okay, it's like this happy, uplifting, life is good, and this isn't a love song. They even say that. It's just like a good vibe, good mood song. And you all know I'm a huge fan of those. I definitely love super happy or super sad. I'm a person of extremes. Those songs are always what grab me. And this is a great feel good, life is good. But it transitions into a completely different song. Like, it sounds like the song is over. I wasn't paying attention when I'm listening to this album for the first listen. I wasn't looking at my phone. So it goes into this other song. And I'm like, oh my God, that song is stunning. What is that one called? And it says Life is Cool. So then I go, press back, let's replay it. No, this is the totally different song. It's so interesting that they decided to end the song with this completely different take. Again, it's Lehan, and he's got a really nice, deeper tone. And he comes in with this like jazzy, unexpected, really cool, mature ending to this song that sounds like a different song. It's like a minute. I loved it. I thought it was so cool, so interesting, unique, fun, but also just a really, really good song. Like, I want that whole song. Release that. Give me 3 minutes of that, because that was just phenomenal. Amazing. Also, My Dear Darling. Oh, it's beautiful. It's such a throwback, early throwback, not 80s. We're going farther back. And it's emotional. I watched them performing this. I don't know if it was a comeback show or like a fan special, but I watched a clip of them performing this song and they were all so emotional during it. At the end of it, Jaehyun was crying. Very emotional. And I love that. You know me. I love emotional songs and teary performances. So I have to give a shout out to that song too. All the songs on this album are good. This is really, really a strong project. And I'm not surprised. I loved what they put out last year. But let's get to my rankings. Even though I love all of the songs, you know what time it is. It's time for my rankings of the 7 new songs from Boy Next Door on their album titled How. As always, this is from least favorite to favorite, but if you just listen to my review, I think this is a wonderful album. No skip. So this is just kind of how I'm feeling today. Number 7, Earth, Wind, and Fire, the English version. Number 6, Hour. Number 5, Dear My Darling. Number 4, the title track, Earth, Wind, and Fire. I thought it was good. Number 3, Life is Cool. That ending took me out. Love it. Number 2, Amnesia. And my number 1 song, just such a romantic first love, feeling. It's so Let's Go See the Stars. I love that song. I love that feeling. This whole project is so good. The group has a genuine feel. I love watching them perform. There's something about it that doesn't seem manufactured. Like so much of K-pop, this doesn't feel manufactured. They have fun with the choreography. They vibe with each other. They're really cute and funny, relatable. They exemplify a boy next door. So, brilliant title for this group because when I think of, oh, he's the boy next door, it's those guys. Except they are like insanely handsome and insanely talented. And every guy next door might not be as good looking and talented as the six members of Boy Next Door. But I feel like they're really age appropriate as like young men. As I mentioned, they're like 17 to 21. They feel that way. They don't feel like they're trying to be like cute schoolboys, but they also don't feel like they're trying to be like super sexy and I'm a grown man. They come off to me like guys that age. And it's refreshing and it feels very relatable and very likable. Their likability is off the charts. I also have to say, and I know I keep saying this, they're so talented, but they can really sing live. And I never want to hear this excuse, oh, but they do hard choreography, so they can't sound good singing live. That's absolutely ludicrous. It's ludicrous. Boy groups, girl groups, pop stars have been doing it since the beginning of time. Hard choreography and singing. It's possible. It is possible. Boy Next Door does it. Watch their live performances. They always sing. They're singing live, the microphones are on, and they crush it. The talent in this group is legit, and they deserve a lot of credit for that. I also heard that they produce and write some of the songs. They're very hands on. So that's only going to get better and better. They're young. So, like, the sky's the limit for this group. They're so talented. Check out Lee Moojin, like Lee Moojin Service, I think is the name of the show. It's a show where the host sings along sometimes with the singers he's interviewing because he's a singer as well. And they just kind of talk about music and vibe. I think it's the most recent episode. It's episode 111 is Taesun. You guys, he is so talented. He's a member of Boy Next Door. You will fall in love with him when you watch this. Talk about likable. Talk about the most like, he comes off so down to earth, genuine and likable, and vocally just smashes it. Like, it's not fair to be that handsome, that talented, and that nice. No. Like, that is God's favorite child right there. He is, everything. And I think he's one that's very easy to root for. Like Bangchan, I think Taesun also trained for 7 years. So this is someone who kept relentlessly pursuing the dream, watching other people get their opportunity. He's crazy talented. I'm so happy he debuted, and I'm so happy he debuted with Boy Next Door. I'm telling you, this group, sky's the limit. They're, to me, the most exciting young boy group out right now. Talent, charisma, relatability, likability. It's all there. Good songs, it's all there. Clearly, I could talk about them all night. I'm not going to. I have to move on. But before I do, it's time to talk bias and bias wrecker. My bias in this group has been the same since day one because in my brain, I called him Jungkook Jr. I'm talking about Jaehyun. Adore him. He is so handsome, so fun, bubbly, such a strong presence. When he's center, you're going to pay attention. He's the leader. He's also, selfishly, from my point of view, he's perfect because he's a fellow Sagittarius, a fellow ENFP. I vibe so heavy with Jaehyun from Boy Next Door. That's my bias. My wrecker, it's Taesun. Talent, visuals, just full package. He is everything. And the more I learn about him, the more I like him. He's so amazing. Like I was reading his artist inspirations and a lot of, ones that you would think. But then I read something that said he loves Oasis. He loves the song Don't Look Back in Anger. Oh my God, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Obsessed with that song. But the thing that stood out to me the most, he mentioned the Carpenters. Do you know who the Carpenters are? That's not a reference that a lot of people, especially like a 22-year-old, 20-year-old, however old he is, would reference. A lot of people don't know the Carpenters. And if you don't know the Carpenters, it was a brother-sister duo. Karen Carpenter, one of the greatest voices of all time. Legit. She has just a clear, perfect voice, really clear tone. So it's not shocking to me that he likes the Carpenters because he has this amazing voice, really beautiful voice. So that just felt special to me. I'm like, oh, and listening to him talk about music, he's a music nerd. There's nothing I love more than people who love music and not just a couple artists or a specific genre, but someone like him who's talking about Nirvana, Oasis, and the Carpenters. Yeah, dude. Yes, I'm so with you. Obsessed. Still on that record line though, because Jaehyun was the first one that grabbed me in this group, and I think he's so dynamic and likable. All six of them are likable. I obviously really, really like this group. And interestingly, not to go back to astrology, because I know this is a music critique, but this is the rare K-pop group that has a lot of fire signs. And yours truly, as a Sagittarius, appreciates that. Maybe that's why I vibe with them so much. But there's a couple Sagittariuses, there's a Leo. Then I think there's like two Libras. They have like a different astrological makeup than most K-pop groups. It's working. Hello. Superstars. Yes. Just a little tidbit on why I think they're so great. No, I thought they were great way before I learned that. But I saw that and was like, this all makes sense, actually. Yeah, I can see that. These are they're performers. They're telling a story. They're not just doing choreography. So enough gushing about this group, because clearly I could go on all night and it's late and I'm running behind. We got to get to the rest of the episode. But please check out Boy Next Door. Check out Boy Next Door. This is a really good group with a huge upside and potential. I think they're going to be massive. They've got the it factor. They just have it. Congratulations, Boy Next Door. I'm a big fan. I support you, and I'm excited to see all of the stages, all of the behind the scenes from this project. I always say I'm excited to see what's next, and I don't really think that's fair because you just put something out. So let's enjoy this comeback. And I look forward to watching more footage, getting to know the members, listening to everything. Congratulations, guys.